Well, time keeps on slipping by, and no news of those sequels. James, why are you doing this to me, James? You're tormenting me. I don't know how longer I can go on. Wait, what? That's my review. Somebody posted it on it. Oh, well, let's see what they're saying. Very nice review. It bothered me, though, he completely spoils large parts of the ending of the movie long before his spoiler warning at the 9:30 mark. Alright, we'll see what we can do about that. So I saw Shazam! So why did this have an early screening almost 2 weeks in advance? Well, I guess they might be afraid of Marvel's magnum opus, Endgame. Or maybe they didn't want to compete with Stephen King's Companion Graves.
You suck!
Should you see it? Yeah, of course you can't miss out on the latest installment in the Cape shit. Oh, fuck. God damn it, who wrote this? Sorry, Cape Hero, Super,
Cape Crusader.
Wait, what?
Cape Crusader.
One more time.
Cape Crusader.
Oh, yep, okay. Cape Crusader? Yep, that's it. Cape Crusader cinematic universe. You wouldn't want to be left out, would you? Now grab my staff and say my name, Godzilla! Now, I don't know anything about Shazam beyond a kid turning into a superhero, but I didn't feel at a loss with this story. Basically, an old man, Shazam, is looking for someone pure of heart to take up his mantle / powers to keep the 7 deadly sins locked away from wreaking havoc on the world. Billy Batson answers the call to become his champion. Beforehand, we see Mark Strong takes the power of the sins and becomes their champion. All the while, Billy struggles to find a connection to his new foster family after being abandoned as a child. Billy initially is always looking into his past, trying to ignore his present family, but eventually over the events of the film, Billy finds out that his foster family is all he needed to move on. In addition to its comedy and kid drama tones, it borderlines on a little light horror at times. Somewhat odd. Didn't expect to see that one. Okay, who directed this? Let's see. David F. Sandberg. Okay. I see it now. Yeah. Main character. Billy Batson, he's a decent protagonist. His story arc plays out fairly well. Great acting, his performance was convincing. The switch over to Zachary Levi was handled pretty well. I liked how they used it effectively a couple times in the film to hide and trick up his opponents. Really good. The comedy bits with Zachary Levi, top notch. As far as story goes, superhero learns his lesson and saves the day. Breaking new ground there. Yeah, this is just a comedy kids movie. This wasn't made for 300-foot tall lizards. But I'm gonna continue on anyways. The villain. Fuck, I'm sorry, Mark Strong, but they did you dirty. Weakest part of the film. His character was obsessed with finding old man Shazam after getting denied as a child the powers. The reason I laugh is because his motivation to get Shazam's powers is because his father and brother were assholes to him as a kid. Once he has the power of the sins, his only direction is to murder the shit out of his brother and father, plus their whole boardroom committee to boot. In this next clip, imagine, if you will, instead of dying of laughter, they're all just dying. The Sins tell him he must kill the new Shazam champion before he can get to full potential, reducing him to a shitty, boring villain. He's got nothing planned except to kill Billy first powered.
Weak!
Oh yeah, the sins. CGI smoke monsters. There's supposed to be 7 of them, but they all sound the same, so it only ends up being like 1. Sidekicks. You know, seeing all the kid actors, I figured we'd be in trouble. But, you know, they actually did pretty good. A few of them are only used for comedy bits, while the others affect Billy in some way. Mary plants the seed of doubt in Billy's mind when they have a talk about how she got her acceptance into college. However, she doesn't want to leave her family behind. Billy thinks, of course, you should just leave. You know, look out for yourself. Mary shows that she cares for her foster family deeply, and that starts to change Billy's mind about ignoring them. Besides her, the one that stands out the most is of course Freddy. In addition to being Billy's best friend and providing comedy bits, he serves as a guide to the superhero world for Billy. Not long after, tension rises between the two of them, as Billy wants to use his powers to impress and earn money, while Freddy would honestly just like to be a superhero. Billy starts to change because of this, making him realize he could use these powers for a better purpose, or even share them. Shout out to Jimon Hansu for playing Old Man Shazam. He was entertaining every time he was on the screen. And finally, the most worthless human being on the planet, Billy's mother. She abandons Billy when he gets lost at a carnival as a kid. And eventually, when he tracks her down and finally finds her years later, she couldn't even give a shit. And the award for Worst Mother of the Decade goes to... Seriously, lady, there's a little thing in our society called adoption. At least Billy got a better family out of this. Pacing's alright, no rush, only drags in the last act during the big fight. It's got a good flow, a lot of comedy throughout, but during the dramatic parts it takes its time. Only started to feel the runtime during the fight between Shazam and Mark Strong. The combat drags with little results. It could have been trimmed up a bit, but oh well. The smoke monsters are boring to watch fight. You're just looking for the comedy and the big battle at the end anyways. Visuals and sound. Shot-wise, the film looks pretty good. Couple of scenes set up a good atmosphere in the film. They don't throw the Christmas setting in your face too hard. I dig the Shazam set, pretty good, solid. Sound design. Most of the movie's quiet because, you know, being a comedy, it needs to allow some time for the audience to laugh so they don't miss anything. Soundtrack-wise, it's interchangeable with any other superhero movie. Nothing stood out to me. The voices of the sins brought up the horror vibe again, and they were loud as shit. Sound effects were good, especially the lightning. Visual effects. Ooh, wow, that budget. Yeah, I think they didn't have anything left over after Aquaman for Shazam to work with. The CGI stands out. It's not bad, but it's not good either. It shows up quite a bit in the fight scenes, especially in the city and during the bus scene. However, the lightning effects, those are great. The sins look pretty good early on. Once they start turning into smoke, it all goes downhill from there. Better luck next time. Immersion. They sell it pretty hard that this is set in DC's movieverse. Everything from action figures to a Superman cameo at the end, minus one Henry Cavill. Rip in pieces. Impact. So what's different by the end? Billy has the family he needs, he returns the sins back to their statue forms, and he lands Mark Strong in a prison cell where he receives a proposition by a sentient caterpillar. Oh my god. This seems like some Howard the Duck shit. Things I liked. Billy and Freddy's foster brother dynamic. It shines through. Great humor. Got me quite a bit. The strategy to defeat Mark Strong was refreshing in the fact that it's not just up to the superhero to do the job, but his family helps him succeed. Billy divides and conquers by granting the powers of Shazam to his foster siblings, allowing them to divide the sins from Mark Strong, weakening him in the process. The Shazam family was pretty cool, even if I did burst out laughing when they showed up. Things I disliked. Villain's simplicity. These little shits. I mean, honestly, who the fuck picks on a disabled kid to the point of hitting him with their truck? Yeah, you see Mary's face there? Literally the next scene, Freddy gets hit with a truck.
Sit down. You know, I don't think that's gonna buff out.
This is true justice.
Did the siblings keep their borrowed power from Shazam at the end? It's unclear. CGI smoke monsters. Last but not least, the mother, of course. She can get... Well, I remember it. You know, Shazam's good for the watch, but it probably won't stick with me. Final score! 6 out of 10. Finally. One more cape shit down. Hundreds to go. I can only hope the ones of the future are more forgiving with my time.